They got the world on fire. Let us fight by the firelight. All the charges prepared and all the tripwires tight. Let's ride tonight, no sense of waiting around to die of fright. They lionize the white demise with race bait your entire life. My tired eyes are watching all the evil that grows, wondering how much suffering will make the system explode. Let it go, your fear of judgment is what's keeping you low. You can do anything, don't need to believe if you know. So don't fall to broken souls that only do as they're told. We gotta build something better than the world we were sold. You wanna be locked down forever, even broken and old? We were born for this moment, you don't need to be shown. Awoken from the waking dream that's got the populace dazed, till their encoded emotions got them violently crazed. One last piece of wisdom before my voice finally fades. No matter how life unfolds, yo, fear no fate. Fear no fate. Fear no fate. Fear no fate. Strong up on lockdown, watch it crumble and fall. Now, claiming to saving you all. How? Run by scum I wouldn't call clowns. Dumb motherfuckers talking about a virus. Just wait for the new age climbing the tyrant soon to be fighting to control, tax, and define it. Carbon offsets for profit. Industrial titans trying to blind the brighten, so the one I try becomes heightened. Strident disregard for all of the lives they've destroyed. After all, they call us human chattel or just a gourd. Consider just for a moment the effects of that worldview. Now perhaps you can understand what they would do to you. See the symbols that cover all of the products and ads. This ain't about a fucking buck they could have already had by much simpler means than controlled psychology. Riddled with symbols and languages, strange numerology, sacred geometry beyond belief to those labeled as sheep. Getting it tattooed to their flesh, guess we're all in too deep. The sleep is getting thicker, most are living in a haze. Consumerism, religion, and minions in the fear-based cage. Whatever wage that they get is just a trifling scrap for what they could be earning. They weren't reaffirming the trap. They can't tax a damn thing if we refuse to pay. The vastness of the masses means they need not obey by the very nature if they only make a stand. But mass deception can get them like nothing else can. What's left to say, more succinct or even more death, but that these rich motherfuckers profit off of our deaths, lest they have empathy every time they're causing harm. The cremation of care got them ensnared on the animal farm. A disarmed populace becomes another bunch of slaves whose mental faculties just wither and waste away, fade to shame. That's like a cancer for the soul, until you're so trapped that you don't even know how the world used to be, how we lived unafraid before the lockdown. Those were the days, how the world used to be, how we lived unafraid before the lockdowns. Those were the days. Peace. Take a look around, you see the lie before your face. Got you believing the human race is nothing but another plague. Stuck in the cage, more of the same self-loathing. Thinking that without gravity, your slave ass would be floating. Supposing what would happen if your mind was really open to the truth that you've been duped and the prison plan is broken. Spoken from the heart, my words just might make you angry enough to shut down logic and just try to fucking have me. Strangely, the irony seems to be lost on you all and left obsessed with safe spaces. A right that lights the wall, falling faster by the minute into a darker state where billions go to villains that lie right to your face. Great deception set in every facet of our fucking culture. Tax revenues picked clean by all the Wall Street vultures. What can reach through deceit to shine a light on the truth? But honest logic calling profits accounts into dispute. Amounts of proof is viewed as that which the news spews. Should get everything in person to really question their views. Here's a clue, there's no way you can get away from the taxes. That's because your property, a commodity of the fascist. Fact is labels act as little more than mass distractions that our government's got us all respectively bent over the mattress. Goldman Sachs is all over every fucking administration. So perhaps the fastest answer is just mass defenestration. That's out the window with they whole fucking system. Science, government, and God, it's all nothing but religion. Heliocentrism is indifferent just because everybody believes it. I mean, people are still believing the Pope is really the vicar of Jesus. Deceiving is easy when you're portrayed as an authority. More the excuses produced to induce belief in abhorrently twisted logic and just outright lies. Now do you get why they lie about the earth's shape and size? Wise words spoken often to those lost in problems, appealing to those that cause them for solutions to solve them. The bottom of the barrel, authority based on apparel. Just because they look the part, their conclusion is sterile. Unbiased just because they repeat the common consensus. It's senseless, like bullshit, string theory dimensions. Dissension becoming classified as jailable offenses. To censor is so free speech is dead or defenseless. Remembrance and justice comes with my contention. 9/11 was not carried out with Islamic intentions, alike what they presenting to the public at large. The free fall of the towers came from anaphonetic charge. Hard logic dictates a real review of the facts, rather than trusting in the commission that got us into a wreck. Snap back to reality, wake up and smell the shit being shoveled into your mind by the mental control grid. Peace.
use of things that would lift us out of the egocentric situation could therefore be considered medical, as healing for a social disorder. But again, I would say that they, used in that way, should be used as medicine in the sense that they don't become diet. Because in my experience, and of course in this matter everybody speaks for themselves, but say I consider just myself alone, I wouldn't feel very put out if, say, LSD were to vanish from the earth tomorrow, because I have discovered that this is not the sort of thing you sort of take every so often, like you go to church, or if you do. But it's something that you can take several times in a gradually diminishing quantity, and then you've had it. Beyond that, it's up to you to integrate your vision with everyday life and with all the various kinds of knowledge. Enough is enough. But there are other people who seem to think that the great thing to do is to start out with a little and then keep on going, making it bigger and bigger and bigger, as if they were looking for something that should lie at the end of the line. And then it becomes a diet. Now, that is indeed getting hooked on medicine. Also, when it comes to the use of any technique whatsoever, whether it's yoga or LSD or what have you, for spiritual awakening, there applies to it the Buddha's symbol of the raft. The Buddha likened his method, his dharma, or doctrine or method, to a raft. It's also called a yana, or vehicle, hence the Mahayana, the big vehicle, the Hinayana, the little vehicle. And it takes you across the river, of which this shore is birth and death, and the other shore, liberation, nirvana. Now you get on that raft and you go over, and when you get to the other shore, you leave the raft behind.
Look in the mirror, say I fear no fate, yo. Look in the mirror, say I fear no fate, yo. Look in the mirror, say I fear no fate, yo. Look in the mirror, say I fear no fate, yo. Look in the mirror, say I fear no fate. This is more than being brave, it's saying no to the grave. At least the power it exerts upon the hearts of the invested that are giving up control. Mine is soul molested, ever tested by a narrative that changes by the second while injected with death, and never praying for protection as intended by the scum fucks that went to Epstein Island. Both sides of the aisle, pedophiles and tyrants that actually think that you consent with your silence. Never said let's go Brandon, I said fuck Joe Biden. Viral lines are too good, thank God they buy guillotines. Make a painting of the looks on the faces, it'll be a scene. I'd be a fiend if I could know the truth and still bow down. There is no hope for the future if we don't fight now. They got concentration camps built for a fucking reason. If you aren't willing to bleed, then you will never see freedom. After all, the police state only expands by the day with temporary agents like the TSA. Expect the lockdowns to stay until you say no fucking way. They say the flames are okay when set like communist strange. Well, let's see how they like it when the targets are changed and the weight of the rage has the houses inflamed. They can build back better upon the burnout remains. Raid me if you want. You can't stop the revolution, not the Antifa psyop, but the violent solution. You can spend your whole life voting like another dope, led along by a rope, titled Great White Hope. Folks, government claims they can change, but they don't. They won't, so lo and behold, a nation of cope with the woke and the tropes, all at each other's throats, groping for a narrative where they can feel like they're heroes, where the reality actually they are TV head zeros. Yo, look in the mirror, say I fear no fate. Yo, look in the mirror, say I fear no fate. Yo, look in the mirror, say I fear no fate. Yo, look in the mirror, say I fear no fate. Peace.
You need to start doing your homework and understanding words. If you put an S in front of words, it becomes swords. And that's what words are.
Eyes flowing like a water sign, long hair like I'm Father Time. I could drop a couple harder rhymes, dive deep where the water's fine. Eyes flowing like a water sign, long hair like I'm Father Time. I could drop a couple harder rhymes, dive deep but the water's fine. The world's got one foot in this age and the next, man, they hoping the tech can delay body death. What is left but the people obsessed with the flesh? Can you guess what they call all of these walking dead? Humanity plus must be some fucking jokers. I hope that they know they are nothing but smoke. Call it cope or the dope or the so-called elite that's a prey upon kids. Have you heard of Epstein? Everything is a lie, tied to lies of the past. The winners of wars have been making your masters. Perhaps if they make you believe what they want, then you can't even see all the things that they flaunt. Looking gaunt like a slave in a cage with no paws, believing your stars will still go into Mars while their hearts are enlarged. charged and their arteries scarred. The tars are in charge and they're playing their part. Hard to watch as the plot rolls along like a wheel. Just wait for the hate when they can't get their meal, so they steal and they feel no remorse for the act. Is the fast and the last in the consciousness trap. If I slap, get awaken the slaves, I would slap them in action as factions for masking and backs and attacking the people that lead to the truth. Cause no one can dare to admit they were duped. Cause the last 2 years of the mass hypnosis, forbidden to notice all the promises broken. Compliance is tyrants so fucking defiant. Fauci lionized while they cries in the science. Through the last 2 years of the mass hypnosis, forbidden to notice all the promises broken. Compliance is tyrants so fucking defiant. Fauci lionized while they cries on the science.
Anybody who's looking at this carefully realizes that there's a distinct anti-science flavor to this. So if they get up and criticize science, nobody's going to know what they're talking about. So it's easy to criticize, but they're really criticizing science because I represent science.
Voice flowing like a water sign, long hair like I'm Father Time. I could drop a couple harder rhymes, dive deep but the water's fine. Voice flowing like a water sign, long hair like I'm Father Time.
What up, Smoke?
I could drop a couple harder rhymes.
Let's go.
Dive deep but the water's fine.
By the truth, invigorated, a cult initiated. I know you hate how I'm vindicated. Still looking for Satan to save it, because we're slaves in the garden. Slaves in the garden, realms of men, go and guard them. Watchers of the night, pick up your guns, let's arm them. Aquarian in the aquarium, there's not no planet but a terrarium. Politicians hatches what they have in common, time to bury them. Seeing clear, with these eyes, climb inside the submarine, we going on a deep dive, you and I T-Y. Chakras balance like the equinox, I'm a shock to your system like tequila shots. I've smoked on pot and gone so much higher than your astronauts. Sacrificial, ritualistic, pseudo-scientific, transhumanistic. The info at your fingertips if you still don't get it. Harvest Fest, Route 91, Astro World, that's your smoking gun. Cremation of care, Bohemian Grove, Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you see the code? Look it up, research the truth. If you don't, then it's all on you. It's all on you. It's all on you. It's all on you. Peace.
There's a Roman maximum in law that says, for he that would be deceived, let him. Simply meaning, if you are so ignorant as to be deceived, that's your problem.
Voice flowing like a water sign, long hair like I'm Father Time. I gotta drop a couple harder rhymes, dive deep but the water's fine. Voice flowing like a water sign, long hair like I'm Father Time. I could drop a couple harder rhymes, dive deep but the water's fine. Peace. Thanks for a bittersweet life, it's what I mumble at night. Nothing shorter than time, too well defined by the mind. I take sight of the moment, because there's nothing as precious as every second we're left with. How's that for a message? Blink a couple times, and your kids will be grown, living in their own homes, haunted by ghosts of their own. Bones that grown with the effort of a life well lived, eyes that shine with a beauty that goes deeper than skin. Has it ever been fed? Has it ever been easy? The boring times later become the good times. Believe me, grieving for a yesterday that lays beyond my reach. I used to have so many friends, but now we hardly even speak. Think I should try to rebuild all the bridges I've burned. That'd be like forgetting every lesson I've learned. Yearning for a difference is less than a conscious decision. Don't try, just do. Believe in you and your mission. Being driven is the point of life, the human condition. Stop procrastinating like tomorrow's ever a given. Sitting twisting up another, I'm like, what's the damn point? Will I find a greater truth through another fucking joint? Will I find another friend in another glass of wine? Will a bunch of sweaty sex bring me close to the divine? Somehow I doubt it, and I don't need another crutch. Everybody wants to shift, but they can't operate the clutch. Such a weird existence. You can say life is strange, you can say you want to change while keeping everything the same. Heaping blame upon others when you are the commonality between every triumph and failure. How's that for reality? It's maddening watching a populace that just complies. I love to watch the system collapse before my body dies. Then I could smile, close my eyes, because it's all just been a ride. All I can do is sigh. Thanks for a bittersweet life. Thanks for a bittersweet life. Thanks for a bittersweet life. Yo, I'm rich, not with money it hits, but oddly enough, with this life that I live, yo, I'm sick. Not of the blood of the wits, but in the rhymes I devise to try to give you a gift. Yo, I'm rich, not with money it hits, but oddly enough, with this life that I live, yo, I'm sick. Not in the blood of the wits, but in the rhymes I devise to try to give you a gift. This is it, reflection of a man who can't quit, trying to make you feel less alone if just for a bit. They wanna break us with isolation, thinking the future is doomed. The system is smitten with psychological abuse. You are free from their control the second that you recognize it. That's why society delights in violence, lies, and contrivance, timing and finding any opportunity to hurt you. If you believe in the TV, you got some issues to work through. You are worth more than I can put into words. Think about it, why aren't we just another part of the herd? I am proud to know you listen, and I am proud to call you friend. Even if I died tomorrow, I would do this all again. Never bend a knee to any thug who dares to demand it. The revolution ain't televised, who cares what they brand it? I understand the sands of time are a real bit of bitch, but from the bottom of my heart, just know that you're rich. Yo, I'm rich, not with money it hits, but oddly enough, with this life that I live, yo, I'm sick. Not in the blood of the wits, but in the rhymes I devise to try to give you a gift. Yo, I'm rich, not with money it hits, but oddly enough, with this life that I live, yo, I'm sick. Not in the blood of the wits, but in the rhymes I devise to try to give you a gift. Peace.